I'm John Bowen. I work in cultural anthropology and I teach in the anthropology department at Washington University. What I really focus on is ideas about Islam's treatment of women. When people living in the West think about Muslims, think about Islam, they think about the oppression of women as being one of the essential features of Islam. One of the things I try to explain to people is that that's just not so. For example, there are many parts of the world, Muslim-majority countries, where women are more likely to be in universities than are men. And women have been more likely to be leaders of countries in large Muslim-majority countries. Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, these have all had women heads of state. I think this is important because we often focus on gender equality as a kind of a litmus test of civilization. And we too quickly run to the conclusion that some traditions and some parts of the world are simply bad for women, and other traditions and other parts of the world are good for women. The Carnegie Fellowship was a great boon to research for me because it gave me resources and time over 2 or 3 years to carry out a big comparative project that otherwise I wouldn't have had the resources to carry out. I'm fortunate to have a number of grad students who are interested in Islam and other parts of the world, and I've been working with them to do a comparative study to look at how Muslims in different parts of the world are adapting to social change. And I'm really focusing on one particular issue, which is how do you find food that it's okay for you to eat? If you go back 20 or 30 years, pretty much most Muslims, maybe all Muslims, were relying on the fact that the meat they ate, the vegetables they ate, condiments that they bought were from a local grocer or a local butcher. Everything was based on local trust. Things started to change 20 or 30 years ago when two things happened. One was Muslims started moving all over the world in much greater numbers than before. The second thing that happened is that they were buying much more in the way of imported goods. The toothpaste you buy, the condiments that you buy, they might come from China or from India or from the US or any place else. How do you know if they're halal? I'm maybe halfway through, maybe not even that far through this project. One thing that I didn't know beforehand, it's a discovery, is that this is already a global network. You might produce something in a local factory, you might not be a Muslim, but you care about having some sort of halal certification. The second thing I found is that there's this whole network of halal certification is actually centered in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia, and secondly, Malaysia. I think here in our department at Washington University in St. Louis, we all view graduate training as a collaborative venture. We create laboratories, collaborative projects, whether it's on food studies, on Muslims in Europe. And internationally, we also try to get most or all of our students involved in a collaborative training project that sends them to the Netherlands and to Paris and here, along with students from those places, so they get a truly international experience in graduate training. What I'm really excited to do is to follow the evolution among Muslims of thinking about what it is who create food that's acceptable. Already I see a lot of Muslim leaders are starting to think about halal, permissible, as really involving a better relationship to the environment, a better treatment of animals. These are some of the developments that I'm excited to continue to follow over coming years.